I almost don't know where to begin with this video. I didn't post last week because with the current events going on in our world, it just didn't feel right. A lot of people were muting themselves from social media just to help highlight the bigger picture. I definitely stand for that, and I think everything that's going on really needs to be said. People need to listen, and I've had a lot of time to reflect on myself and what people call my privilege because of the color of my skin, and I really hope you have been able to do the same. It's just very, very sad that it's the year 2020 and we're still going through this, you know? I posted on my community post on my YouTube channel in place of last week's video saying everything that I felt in my heart at the time. If you want to go check that out, check it out. Otherwise, I'm back and we're gonna try to put a smile on everybody's faces, even for just a couple minutes. With that being said, I stand with you all. I love you all. I am here for you, and I hope the rest of you feel the same as well. So, without further ado, let's talk nails, because I need something to lift my spirits, and I hope a light-hearted video about nails lifts your spirits. So, let's just dive right in. Hey babe, welcome back to my channel. Today we're jumping on that trending train. That's a tongue twister. Today we are jumping on that trending train. Ugh. Today we are jumping on that trending train. You guys already know by the title. We're gonna talk French tips. French tips. Let me just give you a quick background history on why I've always hated French tips. I went to beauty school in the year 2013, 7 years ago, where pink and white nails, meaning like pink and white French tip nails, weren't really in style anymore. And I was so thankful because in school I hated doing pink and white. I hated it. My mom growing up always had pink and whites. A lot of adults had pink and whites in the 90s, early 2000s. I just wasn't about it. I didn't like the style. I hated doing it. I hated it. And let me just say this, my entire nail career I have never actually even had to do pink and whites, so I got away with it for 7 years. But let me just say, they're back. They are back in action, and we just got to deal with it. So I'm gonna show you guys how people do French tips now, because there's so much more that you can do than just doing like the traditional pink and white with acrylics. And let me tell you, if you can do pink and whites with acrylic, more power to you. You are talented. I am not. We will not be doing pink and whites or any sort of French tip with acrylic today. We are doing this 100% with gel polish, and that's that. Let's just dive right in, okay? First things first, obviously I put on my favorite nail extension system, Gel X. If you have not checked out my video on Gel X extensions, make sure you click that eye up there in the corner. That way you can see what I love about it, how it works, all that jazz. But yes, I prepared my nails. I have 3 coffin tips, 1 square and 1 stiletto that I rounded out to be a little bit more almond for this tutorial. But now we are ready to actually put on our French tip designs. Super, super exciting. ASMR. For the first nail, we are going to do kind of a modern take on what the French style is. This design was inspired from a photo taken by Sean Legend. He is the nail god himself. We are going to do 2 coats of Bio Seaweeds gel in the shade Toffee. It's this really nice kind of like deep pinkish nude. On top of that, for the actual modern French style that we're going to do, we're going to use Light Elegance in the shade Swimsuit. This shade is actually a little bit of a shimmery white, and it is a little bit on the sheer side, so we are going to have to use quite a few coats of this color. For this design, you are going to need what I call like a striper nail art brush. I'm not sure where I got this one, but you can find them on so many places. Amazon.com is your go-to. With any French tip, you can start pretty much wherever you want your sidewalls to start. So if you want it to look like your sidewalls are much further back with the French tip, you can definitely start higher, but I relatively start like some somewhere between where my sidewall actually connects to my nail bed. So then what you're gonna do is you're just gonna take that striper brush with that Light Elegance swimsuit shade, and you're just going to take it from the corner of your sidewall and drag it to the center. If you want, you can dot little points as little markers. So just do one on the side, one on the other side, and one down the middle. That way you just have a reference point on where you want this French tip to come down. The key is obviously to keep it as straight as possible, but let me tell you, if you mess up, it's gel polish. So until you put it under the light, it's not actually going to cure. Just take your time drawing your straight lines. That's where this striper brush really comes in hand. Because it's so much longer, you're gonna get that longer, straighter stroke as you're moving it towards the end of the free edge. And obviously you're just gonna fill it in. If you need to do multiple coats, feel free to do multiple coats. Then you put a top coat and voila, that's basically my take on what the AKA modern French tip looks like. It's definitely a little bit different than your average French tip, which we're gonna do next. I really like it. I think it's super cool, and this was actually my boyfriend's favorite French tip of them all. Yeah, it's really a hit nowadays. On to the next one. This one is going to be basically the most traditional pink and white French tip, and I'm just gonna go based off a picture inspired by Yvette, which is the nail goddess. If you know me, you already know how much I love Yvette and her nails and her style. Basically what we're going to do is just do 2 coats of Indie Girl's Sophisticated Lady. This is my favorite pink nude. It goes with any skin tone. I'm serious, any skin tone. It looks amazing on. Like, it's just the perfect pink nude. And then for the actual white tip, we're just gonna use Young Nails Mission Control Gel in the shade Fizz. And again, you're gonna need that striper brush. So after your 2 coats of Sophisticated Lady, again, you're just going to start from your sidewalls, and you're just going to do those straight angled lines to the center on either side of your sidewalls. And then you're just gonna draw a straight line wherever you want that smile line to end. This is 100% preference if you want your smile line to be further up towards the free edge or further down towards where like your actual smile line is on your nail. It's 100% up to you. Personal preference, y'all already know the game. After you draw that line, you're basically just gonna connect the dots, you know, just smooth them out, go from that straight line to those angles and just curve it out. This is just basically a little diagram to help you doing these 3 lines. If you want to just freehand it and draw a smile line, go for it. But this is just a method that has really worked well for me lately, and I'm pretty sure it'll work well for you, especially if you're a beginner. It's a really great method to just really get that nice smile line and to get it symmetrical on either side of the nail. Young Nails Mission Control is pretty thick, so it doesn't really move. It's a really great polish to use for things like this, like nail art. And when you're doing French tip and stuff, you can absolutely use regular gel polish. It just might be a little bit more runny, so you might have to work a little bit quicker. So that's why I recommend using Young Nails Mission Control gels. They're actually really awesome. If you do mess up your smile line in any ways, don't fret. You can use whatever cleanup brush you have. I'm just using a French brush that is actually by the brand Koopa. This is actually meant to design the French tip because see how it swoops up there? But I don't use it for that. I like the pointy end because it's really sharp and I can just really smooth out my smile line with that pointy end. Once you're done, you're just going to top coat it and that's it. You literally can see the difference between what I call like a modern French tip and a traditional French tip. They're very different in style, but they're both super pretty, super elegant. For our 3rd nail, this is probably my favorite nail that we're going to be talking about today, and it is again inspired by Sean Legend, the legend himself, and he did it on Kylie Jenner, the legend herself, Miss Billionaire or not billionaire, I don't know. Anyways, we're going to do kind of like funky nail art on a French tip. So we're gonna do, is this leopard or cheetah? I don't know, some kind of leopard print. I obviously don't know my animals very well. We're going to do 2 coats of OPI gel color in the shade Passion. This is definitely on the neutral beige nude side. It's not pink, it's not peach, it's not brown. It's very beige and very neutral, and it's very similar to my skin tone. For the actual tip, we are going to do 2 coats of Indie Girl Teddy Bear. Now again, the same as our traditional smile line, line. We're gonna start from the sides, bring them down, draw a line, connect those lines to create a perfect smile line, and cure as we go. As you can see, this gel color is a little bit transparent, so it's gonna take more than 2 coats for me to get a really nice brown out of it, and it obviously does move a little bit. So my smile line, I'm constantly gonna have to reshape it, re-smooth it out, because it is gonna spread a little bit, but you just gotta work with what you got, you know? So I just wanted to show you the difference between working with a thick pot gel like Young Nails Mission Control versus an actual gel polish of whatever brand. After we finish our brown French tip, we're going to add the actual leopard animal print. So I'm going to use my favorite art liner, which is by Presto in the shade black. When it comes to drawing leopard or cheetah, whatever you want to call this, seriously, don't overthink it. You want it to kind of look a little messy. So just do little kind of like awkward narrow C's and do some disconnected, do some connected, do some completely circle. Play around with it, and whatever spaces you have, just do little dots in between, and seriously, you get the most awesome looking animal print, and it's so easy. So definitely try this at home, because it may look a little harder than it actually is. Like, it's really not that hard. And then obviously you're gonna want to cure that, and for the top coat, I'm just going to use Wildflowers matte top coat just to give it a matte finish as something a little bit different. Sean Legend did it, so we're gonna do it today too. It's basically a traditional French tip, just with different colors and a little bit of nail art, so it's a little bit of fun. For our little piglet here today, we're going to do something that was inspired by Tana Mojo's nail artist, who resides in Las Vegas and comes to Los Angeles to do her nails. But she actually did a really colorful take on French tip that I really wanted to recreate and share with you guys how I recreated it. So we're gonna do just 1 coat of nude. You can use whatever nude. I just used Sophisticated Lady because y'all know I already love Sophisticated Lady. But yeah, we're just gonna do 1 coat of that just to really even out my nail bed skin tone. And then we're going to, again, draw our French tip. She does hers kind of thick, so I'm going to do my smile line closer to the middle of my nail versus closer to the end of my free edge. And I'm just using a regular color here. We're gonna do about 2 coats of OPI gel color in the shade I Believe in Manicures. And again, you're gonna follow that same method. Your 3 lines, doing 2 kind of diagonals and 1 straight across, connecting the dots, smoothing out your smile line, cure it, and call it a day. Then for the nail bed part of this French tip, I'm going to do 1 single layer of Vitro number 270 in the shade Prism Shine. It's this really pretty sparkly color that I'm just going to do my best to not get anywhere on the actual blue tip itself, just on the nail bed. And then we're gonna cure that, put a top coat, voila, we're done. It's a really cool take on a colorful French tip with sparkles. You can do whatever you want. I'm just showing you the varieties of nails that you can achieve at home if you want to do this at home. Now for our last nail, it's going to be kind of inspired by Nikki Tutorials, who Electa Nail Art did her nails in this shape, where it's kind of like a stiletto-y almondy shape. So for this one, I'm gonna do pretty much a traditional pink and white color, similar to what I did for the traditional pink and white earlier. I'm gonna do 3 coats of Indie Girls Sophisticated Lady, just to give it a little bit more pink tones into that nail bed. And then I'm gonna use Young Nails Mission Control in the shade Fizz, and I'm gonna draw it, but I want the smile line to be significantly smaller and closer to the free edge. So instead of doing my 3 lines, I'm just gonna do my 2 diagonals as if I was doing the modern French, and just connect that V slightly at the tip. So that way it just looks super narrow, super sleek, super elongated. I love this so much. It looks so cool. Instead of just keeping this like traditional pink and white, we're gonna do something a little fun. We're gonna add a little bit of nail art foil. So what I have to do in order to do that is I'm going to put 1 thin layer of this transfer glue. The best way to describe it is it's basically like eyelash glue. It's like really blue when you put it on, and then once it dries, it turns clear. So that's exactly what you have to do, is you put it on, you let it dry a little bit. It's still gonna be super tacky, and then you're gonna take your transfer transfer foil, which I'm gonna use this butterfly foil that you can pretty much get anywhere. You can get it on Amazon, you can get it on AliExpress, you can get it on so many places. You're gonna take your transfer foil, you're gonna press it onto the tacky glue, and you're gonna see that it's really sticking on there, and then you're just gonna peel it off and it'll be stuck onto your nail. And if there's certain areas that you don't like, you can just take some acetone and wipe that part off. But that's basically it. You just put a top coat on top of that, and there you have a really fun nail art with transfer foil on your traditional yet not traditional pink and white stiletto almond nail tip. There you guys have it. Those were 5 different ways to do French style tips. I wanted to give you guys options, variety, all kinds of tips and tricks that I have learned while having to do this recently, because French tip is on that trending train and we can't get off it. It's here to stay. We can't go anywhere. I hope you guys learned something from this. I hope you guys try doing some of these nail art French tips at home. If you do, tag me in your videos, tag me in your photos. You already know the drill. I want to see them. Today's video shout out goes to Ashley. So shout out to you, Ashley. Thank you so much for watching wherever you are, babe. And if you're not subscribed, you already know the drill. Please make sure you're subscribed. And also, if you like this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up. Anyways, that's it for this week's video, guys. I will see you guys all next week on next week's video. Until next time, so long and farewell, my babes. Make sure you stay safe, stay happy, stay healthy, all that jazz. Love you, babe. I'll see you guys next week. Bye.